Good job.
you.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna need your name.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Brendan.
Last name?
Good job, Brendan.
Goody.
What?
Goody.
Spell that, please.
G-U-H-D-E.
Your name is in infamy.
There you go. You'll be in the
Part of
minutes
the-
forever.
Public record.
Let's see, we do have some minutes from the last meeting,
A draft.
just a draft.
Yeah.
I didn't see any corrections or changes, except I think Dan said the Pledge of Allegiance was led by his son-in-law.
Chris Chambers, if I remember correctly.
So other than that, I didn't see anything.
Okay, well, you want to just wait approval till we have the final copy? If they can make those changes, then we're gonna approve it next week, next meeting?
March 6th, or no, March, what is it?
6.
6th. All right, we'll defer on those then. 2 sets for the next meeting. We do scheduled reports, and at the second meeting of the month is due up is Chief John Phillips of the Auburn Volunteer Fire Department.
Thank you, BJ. Report calls. This year in January, we had 54 EMS calls. Last year at the same time, 41. This year we had fire calls 36. Last year was 22. Total calls were 90. Last year was 63. Mutual aid given this year was 16. Last year was 12. Mutual aid received was 5.
Oh, no.
On the wall.
Pardon me.
Oh, sorry. Trying to get you a chair. Mutual aid received was 5. Last year was 5. Total transports this year is 43. Last year was 29. Total non-transports this year is 17. Last year was 11. Total transfers to other agencies, 0 this year, 1 last year. Total patients of 60 this year. Last year was 41. Our multiple calls was 21.11%. We had 5 double hitters and 3 triple ones for a total base.
Yes,
Any questions on that? Repairs have been completed as of 2/16 for the Christmas Day broken water line in the training and kitchen rooms. Township Insurance Company was notified and claim filed. Insurance should issue payment to the township in the next week or 2. About $14,000 worth of damage.
We got that.
So you did? I need a copy of that. January 31st at 16:50, we had a reported structure fire at 16566 Lucky Bell Lane. Reported active kitchen fire with 5 people still in the house. House was evacuated upon arrival of the fire department except for 2 dogs that perished in the fire. Second medical call was for a possible stroke came in during the house fire. We saved the house, a lot of damage, about $100,000 worth. Probably 90% of it was affected by smoke damage. It was going heavily when we arrived, being a kitchen fire.
Where was this at?
Lucky Bell, Loring Woods. Also, I have to report, unfortunately, we lost another brother recently, Larry May, who was also known as Rags because he always had a rag hanging out of his pocket. He passed away. He was under the fire department a number of years and was a department trustee from 1972 to 78. Our prayers and hearts go out to Larry and his family. Pancake breakfast is this Sunday, 8 to 12 o'clock, where Troop 101 will be hosting it, or will be hosting it. Troop 101 will be putting it on. They're only having it 1 day this year. They're talking about 2 days, but they thought because everything's going on, 1 day would be enough. That's it for my report.
Chief, I'd like to mention, you talked about Larry May, and longtime township residents, Bill and Linda Noakes, have they've kind of taken this upon themselves here. They're making $50 donations towards the museum, various township things when folks like Mr. May and earlier we had Janet Ruth, and there were several other residents that passed away, so they're acknowledging these people as well, and we're thankful for that, so. Anybody have a question for Chief Phillips? Fire related, VFD related? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go into some trustee reports and start over there with Mike Troyan.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention is, I'm sure you guys got copies. We got a quote for cable communications. That would be doing all the cabling relative to the new computer system, the new phones and everything else. I talked to Nancy, and I thought it was best to leave it off this meeting and wait until we get everything in this and just handle it all as one package.
We don't have the follow-up quote from ADP.
Right, so I figured we just wait till we've got everything and we know what the total is, so we can do it all one time.
I got an email from them, they have the quote, invited me to a Teams meeting, I don't know,
From Frank Antonucci.
one of his people.
Okay.
I don't know what good I would do going with it.
Well, I can tell you the road department had some hesitancy to move to the internet-based phones because we've had power outages down there, and they kind of like that landline in that situation. So I'm not sure we're going to actually put that building into the system just yet.
Well, theoretically, we could put that in the system and leave a standalone landline down there also.
They want that, for sure.
Yeah, but if they really don't need to be tied into the rest of the system, then, I mean, it's just.
There's emails back and forth, but it's not like the engineers are sending us plans or anything like that over, so.
Yeah, but I mean, they have email down there,
They
whether
do.
they're tied into our
Yeah.
network or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, leave it up to them. They know what they're, what they need down there, and they said there's no sense putting the extra expense in if it's not something they're really gonna use.
Well, okay, so minutes and this IT stuff we'll have back on the agenda then for next meeting. Okay, anything else, Mike? That's it?
Yep.
What you got, Gene?
Okay, the only thing I have is, as we discussed at our last meeting, the progress and the steps we're gonna take to do the community park, and if you've had the opportunity to go up there, you will see that Dash has removed the trees, the barrier, so once the weather is appropriate and starts to dry out, we'll start with step one with Buckeye and get this project going. And that's all I have.
Okay, a couple things. Talked to Mike Ludwig, chases a lot of the equipment needs and does all the research and background on that up there. He kind of, he's taken under his wing, he does a pretty good job of it. The build out on the truck, of course, we have the new truck up there. But no plow, it's just a cab and chassis. The build out on that has been on back order. We've got some good news, I guess. Initially, we were talking $87,000 for the bed, the hoist, the hydraulic system, the plow. We're pretty solid at $102,000 now, a year and a half later. Of course, we ordered, John was on board when we ordered this truck. That's how long this has been going.
I know, I realize.
We waited 13 months for the cab and chassis, and we're gonna wait another 6 to 8 for this. We won't have this in service until winter will be underway. Yeah, winter will be underway. But I guess we're committed to it now, so, the one's in the oven, I guess is the best I can say, but yeah, it's a good, I think that was 17–18% higher for the build out than we thought it was gonna be.
And the way everything else is
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
it's
I'm
not
looking at
that
the
bad.
landscaping here too, it's all the same thing. So there's that. Okay, following the last meeting we had up here, our fiscal officer, so this is Dan Matsko, he's our deputy fiscal officer, and he's doing a great job. but our elected fiscal officer, Fred May, chose to resign the position. Fred had been in that spot, I believe, give or take 8 years. Some personal matters came up, and then Fred just thought this was time. So I do want to thank him. He was great to work with all these years. And prior to becoming fiscal officer, he also served on our zoning commission and our board of zoning appeals. So he had, I'm going to say that was 5-6 years before that too. He was a real asset to the township for quite some time, and he'll be missed. But that resignation starts a 30-day clock where this board has the opportunity to fill that position prior to this upcoming election. I think that's the intention of the board to do that. In as much as we put an ad in the Maple Leaf seeking interested applicants, resume suggested. I think we're going to take those, the way we dated that was we're going to take those until the Friday before the next meeting, which would be March 3rd. We're going to take them until March 3rd. The meeting is the 6th. So should we find some interested applicants and we can work it out, we can interview them at some point. Well, they'd be meeting on Monday. But that would be the 28th day or a 30-day window. After that, it goes to, I believe, probate court. But I think we'd like to keep this here. We're hoping Mr. Matsko's gonna have interest in that. He's certainly capable and has helped us out of this little mini jam we've been in here. So that's the status of that. What do you got, Dan?
Well, I processed 10 warrants totaling $18,239.87. I don't know if you noticed when you were looking at the bills, we had 2 in there from Windstream. The one for $700 is internet only. That's our monthly bill that we've been receiving for the last year. Then I also got another bill for $3,074.87 from Windstream for a separate account, which apparently, I don't know, that's telephone only. And for whatever reason, this bill goes back to September of 2021. They never billed us, so they're playing catch-up, I guess. I talked to them today.
I just love when that happens.
Yeah, so the actual monthly bill is around $165 a month, but multiply that by 17 months and you come up with about a little over $3,000. So we're gonna, I guess we've got 2 accounts, one for internet, one for phone. Like I said, the internet only is $700 a month, and our telephone is, which is a suite, some type of Microsoft suite, is that right? It's like $165 a month, whatever amounts to.
And the internet bills for all 3 buildings, right?
Yes.
Chief, I think I was here at this meeting with you when we set this system up, and that's about when it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then
Before I went on vacation.
they never billed us. Yeah, we're sitting right here.
I'm a little skeptical about the internet one, it seems high to me, but I'd have to go back and look. There's been some things that changed after we got the system going originally, but doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah. What month is that? Is that July of 21?
September.
Yeah, I think we met with her in the summer.
Yeah, it was like June.
Yeah. It's interesting. The way I remember, we knocked about $50-$80 a month off the monthly bill at the time.
Yep, we were gonna save a little bit of money, actually.
We did, yeah.
I think the thing we should do is probably converse with Nancy a little bit, see what she's got in her records.
Yeah.
I mean, I could take a look at my file and see what we did, but she
Yeah,
took it
take a look at
after
that, because that does seem high, and at least, we'll know what's going on if you check it out, or you may find out they're all wet.
How about if I get together with Nancy when she's back?
I think she's back in tomorrow. I'm sure she'll be back.
I'll look her up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks, chief.
He didn't sign that, he didn't write that check already.
Yes.
So don't mail it. Right?
Not yet.
You can get them to make an adjustment if need be, they'll do it. Once you prove your case to them.
We have a better standing of adjusting if we don't pay them first.
That's true.
What, you mean the telephone bill?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see any other billing all of last year, other than the internet bill that we got. I went back and looked.
But you're saying you think that internet bill may be high?
Yeah, I think the
I
telephone one's
think
okay.
those phone numbers sound, from what I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all right.
Yeah.
It's the internet one that I question.
And that's the one we've been paying regularly for
Right.
the last year.
Well, send the phone one, and we'll look into the internet one for a minute or two.
Don't we have separate connections for the different alarm systems and,
Yeah, they're all cell phone related now. They have their own air cards, so they're not connected to the phone system at all. Which was a positive thing when we met up with Frank Antonucci and his guys from the county.
What's she got, Dan?
That's it.
That's it? Okay, as been mentioned a couple times before already, we're dealing with Geauga County Department of IT. We're gonna, we had a quote that didn't work out from a company that we could not come to a contractual agreement with, so we ended up saving quite a few dollars once we finished out this agreement with Geauga County itself, and it's obviously it's a government run, we know the people. And that will be on the agenda for the next meeting as well. Mentioned before, Bill and Linda Noakes donated $50 in memory of Larry May. They've been doing this for a lot of residents lately, and we're much obliged for that. All right, we got a landscaping quote. That's kind of the big thing tonight. Regular February thing. You looked at it, Mike? Dan?
I did. I'm not following what's the Route 42244 inside corners? What are they talking about there?
The board had them quote that several years ago, 2 to 4 years ago, for an optional thing. I think there was some feeling on the board at the time that we would like to do something along the lines of what Bainbridge does over there with the landscaping and the tubers, begonias and everything else.
On the freeway?
Yeah.
well, in my opinion, at that point in time is, okay, if we fancify it and you get down there, all the stuff that's at that corner, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the majority of the board was not interested at the time, and I'm not interested in it
Yeah,
either.
that doesn't sound like something I'm interested in. That knocks off the 12 grand, right?
Yes, it was quite pricey too. Yeah. Other than that, their increases, what is that? That's about 12%.
We're adding on another little over $4,000.
Yeah, it's about on top of 40.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 12-13%. Mostly labor, because it's flower bed maintenance, which that's, on your hands and knees.
Well, the most important, what they do is the cemeteries,
The
right?
mowing is barely up.
Yeah. The cemetery,
It's mostly labor.
yeah. Have we had any, over the last years, any complaints?
I've been doing this a while, and I'm gonna say they've been about the best landscapers
Yeah,
I've
I
ever
would say,
had.
I remember years ago,
Yeah.
we had a company that
Oh,
kept
yeah.
nicking the headstones.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, they came in at a reasonable price,
Right.
and they've been doing a good job since then. And really, quite a few years, they didn't change their price at all. So
Right. they're very responsive being right down the street here too.
And they're Auburn residents.
I mean, you're always gonna get a headstone that gets bumped into.
Right.
You know, you've seen how these commercial landscapers go, how they work. They work fast, and things do happen, but we've been able to get them back and make things right. So I think it's, you know, when you look at all the other costs, it's reasonable, so.
You gonna make a motion?
Yeah, I would make a motion to stay with JFD for the proposed 2023 and 2024 maintenance.
And not go with the,
Yeah, and we're not gonna do the additional 42244, so that's great.
second?
Mike,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes.
PJ.
Yes. There was a time if you had a landscaper for 3 years, you were doing something. One we had to fire mid-season.
Why, because you didn't cut the grass the
Did
day before
did
Memorial
not,
Day?
did not cut the grass at all, on Memorial Day, yeah. Well, next meeting, he was gone. All right, zoning commission is gonna be here on, I believe that's Thursday. Pancakes at the VFD, 8 o'clock to noon on Sunday. We'll be back here on the 6th for a fairly important meeting, and then commission BZA after that. Anyone have any comments tonight, questions on anything?
When we get these applications for fiscal officer, so you're gonna cut it off on that Friday,
Yeah, we did cut it off.
and then what, we'll have the weekend to look at these? Will we interview these people, or are we not allowed to do that anymore, or what's the?
Well, we would absolutely have them in. We're all free to, since that's why we can all call them personally. But no, we're not to
Not to do?
do this in executive session.
Not doing anything executive session ever again.
Nope. So, yeah, hence the cutoff Friday, which, yeah, it's a short window. I mean, it's you know, you'd be rushed, but the whole thing's rushed. You only got 30 days, and you gotta run the ad for 10 days, so, kinda is what it is.
Have you got your application in, Dan? Make this easy.
Put references in there.
You can use me as a reference. And a vote.
Okay, anybody have
You
any
have a
questions?
Boy Scout.
Anybody?
Did you?
Hi.
Hi, yeah, I'm here representing Troop 101, and I was just like to present you trustees with some free admission tickets to the pancake breakfast next Sunday. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to just pass these down.
You don't wanna do that, you wanna make them pay.
Yeah.
They got it, they can afford it, they can. If they show one of them tickets, you tell them you want a donation.
All right, I'll be sure to tell everybody.
That's
that.
very generous. Maybe you should like tone it back to like one free pancake, or 30 minutes with a plastic fork or something.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That might be.
I'm gonna be in Connecticut, so give my free ticket to the Shun guy here, so we.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yes, us township trustees make the big bucks, we go for it.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
yeah.
you. We'll see us. I will see you Sunday.
Well, I'll leave these here for you then.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else? Going once and twice. Is there a motion?
Short meeting.
Second.
Mike,
Yes,
Gene,
Yes.
PJ.
Yes.
that was grueling.
Hello,
Amazing how you keep up with them.
good seeing you.
What's the part you were talking
Pass that.
about?
I understand.
The Are
you
they
working at
Oh,
Haskins Farm?
Ran onto the parking lot.
parking lot.
We were wondering.
No,
No,
parking at
At the park.
over on
Anything was
Monroe.
going
Yes.
on.
We have a community park off of
Didn't
Mud.
see
And
anything going on.
the problem is, people coming and going on a
The
Saturday.
other day or
We got 1,000 kids there playing and their grandparents are become,
so
it's a
that's good.
parking nightmare and in and out. So we're trying to alleviate some of the congestion by going in and out.
Separate
Good.
lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had room for 75, 80 cars up there, which we thought was pretty good, but it's proven to be a little popular.
Whenever we've gone, it's really
Well,
not during game time, so there's a huge,
Oh, you
there's
should
parking.
see
Well, at
that
game
day.
time,
You should see
that and the one in
day.
Bainbridge are just
Yeah.
crazy.
It seems to me like this
I
is a
walk
pretty
up
good
there
year.
a
Am I
couple of
right?
times a week with my dog, and it looks
It
really
has
nice
been,
having
but
that.
if it stays
At first I was like, wow,
the
but
really
then
warm weather
it's really an improvement.
was hard on it, and it's early. I mean, normally we don't.
It
start
does,
tapping
yeah,
until
and that's the only real logical place for that parking lot.
You know, this
Kind of why
week.
it took as long as it did.
So it goes
I
this
do
week,
gotta
we
say, I
had
kind of missed
another
that when you come around the
really warm
corner and you
day
see the new building up there, 'cause that was
on
kind of dramatic. I
Thursday.
like that.
Yes.
Hey,
Then it's supposed to get cold again, so.
Yeah, I think
Oh, how many
Thursday night,
landscapers bid?
I think there's 2 nights.
We just suck
Thursday night and
quotes, this does
Friday
not
night,
need to be
and
bid.
Quotes, okay, how many
Saturday.
quotes?
For maintenance, we just got the one from our current
Sunday.
JFD.
Didn't have to,
Yeah,
This,
okay, good.
no, this is, does not require
I
bid.
just looked at that before I came up here.
Thank you.
Well,
I'll be coming in now and then.
Good, good. Back in the woods.
Are you in the
I mean,
paper?
it's-
Yeah,
Oh,
she's,
sorry,
that's,
I
that's
mean,
Ann
I'm
with, Ann with her, yeah.
Air,
With who?
it is
Maple
almost
leaf.
Dusty.
The Maple Leaf, okay.
Yeah.
that is
Tell John I said hello.
You know, a lot of the ruts and
Never
stuff
seen
are
John.
usually.
Never seen John?
full of water.
You'll see him before I do.
Okay.
We gave up our office there in Chardon,
Ah,
It's dry.
and so we don't see each other, we just call every now and then.
So-
It's not good.
I was going to say,
But if I do see
it's
him, I'll
dry,
let you know.
That's JFD.
it's better than coming up with a boat full of water. But on the other hand,
JFD.
as far as bringing the wagon through with the sap,
Yeah, this is their actual.
get a lot more splashing.
It's a lot better for the ruts in the woods and stuff, to have it dry, but to not have a lot of ground moisture.
Jonas being nearly as bad as having someone short fingernails out.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, chief.
Oh,